We talked about creating business simulation. We just looked at a leadership simulation a while back, and now we're going to talk about business simulation. So here is, I'm going to be showing you some of my work in this area. So we worked with one of the big fours, and you know how a consulting firm works, which is that partners, once you become a partner to a consulting firm, then you become responsible for managing the profitability of that practice that you're leading. And for the client that we worked for, they were having issues where partners were not able to profitably manage their practice arms or grow their practice arms at the levels that was expected of them. Again, it requires for a partner in a consulting firm to have mastered multiple disciplines for a person to become a partner. But of course, that didn't look like the case in this specific situation, and there were people who were new partners and people who weren't very doing well in their practice arms and things like that. So what did we do? We created a business simulation. We based it on a book called How to Run a Service Firm to build what we wanted to give them an experience of. And what we really did was we took the book and we understood what it said, and we actually got similar books as well, and we understood what are the themes that are being covered, and we discussed those themes with the client, and the client was able to personalize or contextualize those themes basis how things are done in their organization. So with every theme that we picked up, we kind of customized the content as per the organization culture, as per the practices in the organization and things like that. So I'm just going to be showing you how that looks like. And this specific piece that I'm sharing with you is not completely a simulation. It is a mix of learning and simulation. So how we've created this is that we've talked about a concept. By the way, this client shared with us that they gave this book away to every partner, at a recent gala event and things like that, and nobody read it. And they said they will do a teach back, and one person will take up a topic, and there just wasn't any interest for any of that. So it just fell through the cracks. So, of course, the self-directed learning in this piece, in this initiative of the organization, fell flat. So they wanted to create a structured program. And it is critical for them that their people, their partners, understand these different themes in its complete nuancical glory, and then be able to apply it to make their practice arms more profitable. So I'm just going to jump into that.
There are three types of projects. In the first type, called the brains, the client's problem is at the forefront of the professional or technical knowledge, or at least is of extreme complexity. The key elements of this type of professional service are creativity, innovation, and the pioneering of new approaches, concepts, or techniques. In essence, their appeal to their market is hire us because we are smart. The gray hair projects. While they require highly customized output in meeting the client's need, it involves a lesser degree of innovation and creativity in the actual performance of the work than the brain projects. The general nature of the problem to be addressed is not unfamiliar, and the activities necessary to complete the project may be similar to those performed on other projects. In effect, they are saying, hire us because we have been through this before and we have practice at solving this type of a problem. The third type of project is the procedure project. It usually involves well recognized and familiar type of a problem. While there is still a need to customize to some degree, the steps necessary to accomplish this are somewhat programmatic. The client may have the ability and resource to perform the work itself, but turns to the professional firm because the firm can perform the service more effectively. Let's now estimate the kind of workforce requirement for each of the three types of projects. The graphs that you see here, on the x-axis, it depicts the quantum of resource required to complete the project. And on the y-axis, it depicts the seniority of resource that will be required to complete the project. Please drag and drop the right workforce requirement graph to the right type of the project.
So here I'm required to drag and drop the resource utilization to each of these different type of projects. So I know that brain project now is something which is innovative and which requires astute skills in business and innovation, and it requires higher degree of seniority for the resource, and maybe the number of people required is not that much. So I'm going to take this and drag it up here. So great. Okay, the second type of project is the gray hair project, and we know that these are kind of projects which requires mid management, and it requires good number of resources as well. So I will bring it here. And the third type of project is the procedure type of project where more number of people at the lower cadre of management are required to deliver. So I bring them here.
Let's now play a small game. You are the leader of the practice arm with a leverage ratio of 2, which is you have double the number of associates as the partners. Your available time every quarter is 4 units of partner time and 8 units of associate time. The billing rate for the partner is 3 times the billing rate of associate. 1 unit of partner time can be converted to 2 units of associate time for work completion when needed. Partner can fill in for associate time, but associate cannot fill in for partner time as he does not have the skill set required to perform the partner level tasks. This short simulation will simulate 2 quarters. Your current quarter will be highlighted as shown. Here you will see the time available to you to work on projects. Projects availability is repetitive and predictable in your market. And here you will see the revenue you have generated currently. In this area, you will see the projects. You can hover your mouse over the projects to see more information about them. You can choose the project that you want to work on by clicking on this button.
All right, so I'm in my quarter one right now. I've got three projects called P1, G1, and B1, and I have to select which of these projects I want to choose for my firm. So I see that the P1 project, let me just hover my mouse, and it says this is a project for telecom for talent assessment, and it's a procedure style project. Which requires 1 unit of partner time and 14 units of associate time. The second is the gray hair style project, which requires 3 unit of partner time and 6 unit of associate time. And then I've got a brain type project, which requires 4 unit of partner time and 1 unit of associate time. So let's say I'm a new partner and I want to create a bang with my practice arm. So I choose the brain project because this will get me the highest visibility and it will establish our competence as consultants in the market. So let me just click on that. So what's happened is that my partner time utilization has is very good because I've got no partner time left. But my associate 7 units of my associate time has not been utilized, and I have made 13 times X revenue. So I say okay. Okay, so it seems that because I still have some associate level resource available with me, I can go out to the market and select some more projects. So here are two more projects that I have access to now, which I can bid and decide to do with my resources. So one is the P2 style project, which is again a procedure style project. Now this project requires 3 unit of associate time. I have 7, so I can pitch for that, but it requires 1 unit of partner time and I am left with no partner time, so I can't take this project on. Then we have B2 style project, which is a brain style project, which requires 2 unit of partner time and 2 unit of associate time. So I'm left with no partner time, so I can't really do anything here. So basically, I do have associate time left with me, but I still cannot use up to complete any other project because of my earlier selection. So if I just click on that, so it's telling me that you don't have enough resources to take up this project. So I say okay. So now I'm going into quarter two. So this is what it looks like. In the quarter two, I start with 4 units of partner time and 8 units of associate time. And I have got 3 projects this quarter that I can pitch for and do. So first is the procedure style project. So let me just hover over it. So it's a project for telecom, again for talent assessment, requires 1 unit of partner time and 14 units of associate time. I really can't do it because I do not have that amount of associate time left with me. So I will look at another project, which is a G3 or a gray hairstyle project, and it requires 2 unit of partner time and 4 units of associate time. So it looks like that from a time availability, it is a project I can go for. And similarly, I have another brain style project available to me. Now, I know from my past experience that it's not a good idea to go for brain projects right away, because though it utilizes your partner time well, but your associate time is still going to get left out unutilized. But I can still make my choice. And let's say this time I go in for the gray hair type project. So moment I click on that, I see that now I have achieved 15x the revenue, and my 1 unit of partner time is left and 2 unit of associate time is left. So I say okay. So given that I have some resources left, I can pitch for more projects. So here are 2 more projects available to me. One is a procedure style project in which 3 unit of associate time is required. I can't go in for that. And 1 unit of partner time is required, which I do have, but I don't have enough partner time left to be converted into associate time. And in the second option, I have a brain project which requires 2 unit of partner time. I don't have that, so I have to let this go as well. So I could just click on any of these to just check if I could attempt it, but it looks like it's not going to let me attempt it. So here you go. What it seems like has happened is that I have billed 7 units of my partner time. In the best case billing, I could have achieved 9. So I missed on to 2 units here. And I have achieved billing of only 7 units of associate time. In the best case scenario, I could have gotten that to 17. And from a utilization standpoint, I have been able to utilize only 87.5% of my partner time, and 43.75% of my associate time. Whereas in the best case scenario, I could have achieved 100% utilization of my partner time and 93% utilization of my associate time. And the total revenue I generated for the firm was 28x, and the best case scenario could have been 44x. So, what this makes me think is that the way I have selected projects was not correct and could have been optimized more. So, basis this learning and the experience of having gone through selecting the type of projects at different times of the quarter, I can now replay this game. Welcome back. How did you like that simulation? There are a few things I wanted to point out. One was that, as part of development, what we did was that one thing that came to us was that we wanted to create these learning modules, not very long, each module not to extend 15 minutes. So the way we created these modules was that for each theme that we selected, we created, so to say, 15-minute module, which had its top concepts explained and then applied, a testing of that, and then a simulation of actual application of, not in a question answer format, but in a holistic, business-like format. So that was the format we followed for creating these modules. 2 things that I want to point out for learning designers was the first of those was that, in the first piece where you saw that we explained 3 types of projects, which is the brain project, the gray hair project, and the the procedure project. We did not go on to explain how the distribution of resources happen in each. We let that for the learner to figure out for himself. This is a technique that we use very often in our studio. And typically all learning designers who've been trained old school like myself, they would think that the only place for assessment is either if you're doing a formative assessment, which is an assessment after a few slides, and say that, okay, we've come till slide number so and so, let's do a quick check of our knowledge and see if we can recall what we learned. And the second type of course, is the summative assessment. So after you've gone through a course, you go through a question and answer session or a quiz, and you get across that. Now, I believe that learning designers of the future will not use assessments in its lame format that we have used traditionally. What we do in our studio is that we prefer to use assessment as a tool for content delivery. So I will say that again. We use assessment as a tool for content delivery. We've seen this, it works so much better than going the formative and summative assessment way. And what can happen is that when you are committed to use assessment as a tool for content delivery, it is so much fun to explain concepts, only one fourth or three fourth or only half, and then expect people to figure out the rest, or at least the part in which it is applied, which is derivable from a common sense point of view if somebody is really paying attention and going through things. So it is doable, and people love it, and they're constantly engaged on the screen. So enough on that. So guys, let me know what you thought about that simulation. There were few pieces which are very, very nuancical, which we wanted people to get, which is that in a consulting style business, and especially the ones that Big Four are in, typically what happens is that if you pick up a gray hair project and if you do it a few times, then you develop competence on that. And the next time you are doing a project that you have done a flavor of a little earlier, it will not take you that kind of time that it took the first time. So that's the beauty about gray hair project that we wanted people to capture. And if it was just told to them, they would not get the gravity of it. So only after they have played the simulation once and they figured out that their selection was not the best, they could have achieved more. And once they replay and they go back, they look at the place where it says that, if you are signing up for a gray hairstyle project, then the next time a similar project comes your way, you will be better off and will be able to do that project in a comparatively lesser time, because by now you would have figured out processes, you would have figured out workflows and things like that. So guys, that's how one could build a business simulation. The whole idea of or any simulation is, remember, is it's reality in a sandbox. So if you are creating a simulation, it should really depict reality in its most ruthless forms, as people do face on ground. And it should talk about the consequences, and we have to make consequence hard hitting, so that we are able to drive our point and people don't make the same mistake again, or don't choose to think about something absolutely critical when they need to be thinking about that. So it's a great way to get information across. And another thing about simulation is that people can fall off to sleep during a training program. In a simulation, every few minutes there is an interaction required, so the content won't move forward till you interact with the content. So with all these great things about simulation, they work very well for creating learning experiences for senior leaders.